What's going on? Welcome into TFEs. Sitting next to a guy who is really smiley and giggly and just animated this morning. So I can't wait to see what comes out of this episode.
I don't know why. For a guy that's, an hour 2 or 3, I think of 9 straight hours of talking today. It's not digging ditches, but it's a lot of talking. It's a lot of me. Maybe I'm already getting punchy. Who knows what's going to happen in the serious radio show for 3 hours.
I think it's you would say like it's a complaint that it's like 9 hours of you.
Well,
does anyone love that more than you?
Nobody. Maybe you. No, nobody does. I don't even like it. What are you talking about?
I know.
Sounds terrible for all parties involved. But yeah, ready to rock. Let's do this.
Your eyes are really popping in that blue hoodie you have on.
I didn't think they would. I thought they'd be bloodshot. Sleep has been at a premium recently, and I usually put Visine in my eyes before we do this. I didn't, so that's good to know.
Let's go TFEs off the top. Thoughts, feelings, emotions as you talk about your bloodshot eyes, and we sort through the chaos that has been this week.
Why you go first? I feel like I always go first.
Oh, okay. What a gentleman.
Well, yes, chivalry is not dead. And by chivalry and not being dead, I mean when I go first, I tend to talk for 20 minutes, and then half the pod is gone with my thoughts.
Oh, he's saving his voice for the other 7 hours of TV that he has.
I would like you to express your thoughts, feelings, and emotions first, and I will sit here and shut up.
Okay. My
maybe
thoughts, maybe slim chance. Thoughts, feelings, emotions right now. Thoughts are, man, it's been a week. It has been like a week in a good way, and it's been a week in like some challenging ways. And then my head is just all over the place because we're getting ready to go out of town for a week for Thanksgiving too. And, have a lot to get ready before that and a lot to sort through as well. So feelings are a little bit overwhelmed. I'm feeling more settled than I was yesterday afternoon for sure. But my feelings are a little overwhelmed, and emotions are just grateful. I feel like in the midst of all the chaos and everything the last year has brought and has dealt us, I am trying to figure out how to be more present, as my dad calls right now to say, why didn't my grandson FaceTime me this morning?
Not now,
grumpy. Pa.
People are like, what the hell are you two doing? But go ahead.
Yeah, we're just riffing back and forth. This is what we do. We just sit in our living room and quote Dace and Lyra and say different weird things all the time.
Probably not at all what we do. I think maybe you do, and I'm just like,
oh, whatever. You're weird too.
I mean, no, I'm not saying I'm not weird. I'm weird about a lot of things, but I don't know if I always will quote them as much. But go ahead. You'll
say some of the weird things Dace says. You'll walk around going night night.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm as excited about it. I feel like you would like to sit there and do it back and forth, and I'm like, all right, if we're not on right now, I'm not going to be on. I'm just going to sit here and let you.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Emotions are grateful after everything that we just both celebrated a birthday this week, which we'll get into, and it's always, I think, a time where you have some reflection, and you also as much as you're looking back, look ahead, and I kind of dream about the future too. So grateful for kind of the place we're in now, even in the midst of more chaos.
Yeah. I guess I'll just go right into mine because it kind of dovetails off of yours. I think I was thinking about this morning early when I got up with Dace. This like 2 weeks encapsulates our life, and I'm grateful and thankful for it. But part of what I think makes our relationship work is we both are like chaos agents. Like if things aren't chaotic, like we might talk about it a lot, but if they're not, I don't think we feel like we're doing enough or maximizing time. Yeah. Like there's something to be said for just chilling at times, and we find sometimes to do that. But like we've brought a little chaos on ourselves. Our parents didn't try to both have us born in the same week. That wasn't intentional, but we have a birthday on the 17th and mine of November, yours the 20th. And I was just thinking, I'm like, so this is going to be every year, huh? Like, what if I just say, let's opt out of my birthday to make it easier? Like, should we just do that?
Nope.
No. Okay, there we go. But there was that, there's a lot that goes into that. And what is cool too now is, and I get it, next year Dace will be more aware and into it. Lyra is just really excited. She's a very empathetic, caring person. She's excited to celebrate your birthday and my birthday and do different things. So that means like, all right, well, we have to go with her and Dace, at least for me, to like pick out stuff for you and do stuff that I wanted to do. Like it becomes a family outing.
Yeah.
not exactly the most stress-free time, as we're trying to cram it into the 2 hours we had to do this stuff when they were both together and everybody was awake and all this other stuff. And Lyra wasn't in school. So I say this all to be like, this week will kind of always be this week, but we opted into having next week. I'll be working in Atlanta for Turner, which I'm excited and grateful for that opportunity and looking forward to starting to work with a new company. I mean, I leave later today. My first show will be Saturday, and then we're on all next week, most of next week. But to have you guys there, we brought that upon ourselves. But I think that's part of like the joy. And yes, you'll be taxed at times with both of them solo, and we'll be times where we all be together. We get to spend Thanksgiving together. We invited ourselves to one of our friends, Roddy's house, which is awesome. Thank you, Roddy and Jackie, for allowing me to invite all of us to spend Thanksgiving with you.
Which was kind of news to me in the text to Roddy yesterday when you were like, "Thank you again for letting me invite myself." I was like, I thought you mentioned we were going to be there. And he was like, "Oh, there's no way you guys could be alone. Come over."
Hell no. I would never
Okay.
See, guys operate differently. If I ever said to you, like, I want to reach out to Roddy and see if we could join him for Thanksgiving, you'd be like, "Oh God, no, you can't do that. You can't put them out like that."
Yeah, but you were acting like he like said it.
I wasn't acting like anything. I said, we're going to Roddy's. That's what we're going to do. Like that's the deal.
Well,
because
now
Roddy accepted us, and thank you, sir.
Now I need to bring more gifts.
That I understand, and that seems fair. But
and food, because we don't have a kitchen to cook.
We'll as he responded yesterday, hopefully they give us some marching orders. We'll go above and beyond and do as many things as possible to say thank you.
I'm a really good cleaner.
Which actually in Thanksgiving, to me, is the worst part is the after.
Oh, I'll be in the kitchen cleaning all the dishes.
Or any holiday. And like when we're having all these people together, anytime you have everybody there, the one downside is to clean it. I love the picking of what we're going to do or what we're going to cook or how it's going to work. The other part stinks. So
that's part of why we work, because you like the beginning and I would much rather do the end. But I especially like it, like going to someone's, like if someone invites you over for dinner or meeting somebody for the first time, to me, like that, you should always be trying to help in the kitchen. If they say no, then you're doing it anyways.
The last part I slightly disagree with. I'm sure you're shocked by that.
Yeah.
Because I think one thing, it's like if you say no, but you can do something else, then I assume you would do that. If it's no, but maybe just hang out, like that is, if I'm hosting, that's what I'm hoping then too. Like maybe there's a reason why I would rather you not do the kitchen stuff.
Well, yeah, if we're all going to sit down and leave the kitchen for later, cool. But if you're going to be in the kitchen and I'm going to be hanging out with everybody else, no.
But there are times that I feel like people like in the kitchen just get in the way. Like if I'm, I don't necessarily need that. I'd prefer you do something else.
I know you're really great at cleaning the kitchen too.
Let's BS. The other day I said I was done because I wanted you to sit with us for a few minutes before you did it. I did not finish it. It was not complete. I get that, but I wanted you to sit with us on my birthday for just a few minutes. I wanted you to sit down with us for 5 minutes. So I took that liberty, and I guess that was a mistake. Get back to my thoughts.
And then you can unload those feelings on me, because
Absolutely.
I hear them very deep.
They are deep. But I like this is kind of what we've set up. But I think it's great. There's a lot we have to get done. There's a lot. I mean, I was thinking about, okay, I land at 11:45 on Saturday night. We got to get up at 5 a.m. and get like packed and figured out what Lyra needs, what you usually do most of Dace's stuff. Okay, how I can set up my bag maybe to carry Dace's, like whatever I can do to help you get ready, while also helping myself get ready and help her get ready.
What you need to do is mentally prepare for all the bags that you're going to be dragging around the airport, because it is not going to be a light pack.
How are we doing more than 2-3 big bags? How's that possible? Are we doing this right now? Is this good pod content? You guys want to talk about our packing of bags?
I'm just saying,
for a week-long
be
trip?
ready. I'm not doing this like, well, we got to squeeze this in. We're going for a week. We have things that we
don't need 17,000 of Dace's toys. He doesn't need that many toys.
We probably need 17.
I think you need to look at the studies they've done. You can give a kid 2 or 3 toys. They can figure out stuff with that. They get creative with that. They get inventive with that. And that's what he can do.
You can send me the Cliff Notes.
I think I just did.
There you go. All right. Go to your feelings.
Same thing with Lyra. But we're just real quick. I feel like we have set this up this way that is taxing, that is hard. But when we look back, the week we get back,
yeah,
we will be really grateful we did it.
Yeah. And
I think that's something that I'm very grateful for in our relationship, that we both kind of look at it like that. Because there's a lot of people that opt out of doing things because it's going to be taxing or going to be annoying or going to be frustrating. that's just not the way I want to live. And I'm grateful that you kind of look at it the same way. I'm very excited about both like this professional and personal, next 8 days. I think it'll be a lot of fun for our family. Hopefully it's a lot of fun for work. And it's like I'm looking forward to working with new people and doing different things and covering a bunch of really good games, which should be a lot of fun. And I guess like the emotional part of it is there's a little like, there's not, it's not anxiety. It's just like, all right, like there's like an energy around like we got a lot to organize. And I will say this though, tonight when I land in Atlanta, it's going to be like 9:30. My phone's going off and I'm sleeping as long as I want tomorrow. And
you will
really
leave
excited.
your phone on
I'm really
in case
excited.
I need anything.
You're not going to need anything. It's going silent. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep and I'm excited about it because it's the one day I'm going to have a chance. You're not going to have that. I know. Sorry. You traveled last weekend. You had a night to yourself. Was it remarkable? Was it
no, I slept terrible. It was awful.
Because I'm not there. It's understandable.
I actually did. I woke up so many times. It was weird. I was like, take it.
Well, I wish I had the same experience. But when you're not in the bed, I sleep like a rock.
Wow.
Too. I can do it both ways.
Wow.
So I'm very proud of my sleeping capabilities. In that regard. In the bed that way. I can definitely do both. Good at it. Very good at it. But I think there's like there's an energy and an excitement, but a little bit of nerves of how just the planning of it.
Yeah.
And an execution of it. But I'm just really overall like excited of the very crazy next like 9 days we have.
I am too, and I think that's a good thing that you pointed out about us being kind of like agents of chaos together and figuring it out. I think we do it well as a team, but I think it's important because like we are aligned in that regard of like, it's going to be kind of crazy. I'm really excited for the personal side of it. Atlanta is a cool place. There's so many things to do with the kids. There's stuff I've been sending you for like 4 weeks of, all the different activities and stuff. I'm excited because Lyra doesn't know that my parents are going to pop up and surprise her.
So that's locked in now? Because I mean, it was supposed to be this morning and I was doing different things. We're locked in.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of like, do they actually only stay one night like they said?
There's no way.
They said that they're coming Sunday and then they'll leave Monday night. We'll have an update for that after Thanksgiving because we're not doing a podcast next week. So I'm really excited for that. She was so happy when they surprised her before. And Dace, obviously, he loses his mind. He just doesn't understand what's happening. Yeah. The hug that he had with my dad when they got here was remarkable. It was like a 6-minute hug. I'm not exaggerating. It was so freaking cute. So I'm excited.
He loves holding on to him.
He does.
Like,
he
truly
just
loves.
Oh my gosh, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. That's his dude. He just knew. He's like, you were the one that was bawling your eyes out in that pregnancy video, huh? You were the one I heard crying when you walked in the room before anybody else started crying.
Do you think that was partially because it was a boy?
Dad would have cried no matter what.
Yeah.
He, you saw him. He cried when he found out that we were pregnant and was just like elated. But then I think regardless, he would have been so emotional. Dad, you've seen him. Like, Dad is so good with girls.
Yeah.
And you raise 3 girls, and I have a lot of friends that had girls as well. So I mean, he's good with girls and boys, and so is mom, and so is your mom. That's not like that one over the other. But I think it was special for him. He just never let himself believe that. I mean, we had like girl cats and dogs and everything growing up. Like he's never had a little road dog boy. So part of it, I think, was because of that. They just have a special bond.
You know what's interesting about your dad too? Like, and I mean, obviously, like I've gotten to know him, and I think I have hit the lottery when it comes to parents-in-law. I've said that many times, but you carry your own biases and prejudices into meeting anybody. And I just assumed this like big Southern man is not like going to be like emotionally in touch. Very much so.
Yeah.
I may have assumed some of his politics before I met him. Very inaccurate. Right. Like there are things, I think it's in life, we always talk about prejudice and bias, and especially in today's society, about race and about ethnicity and about, looking and talking about marginalized groups. That shit works every different way. And you can be black, you can be white, you can be mixed, and you can have different prejudices on different things. And I feel like anytime I've had that thought about him, he's like destroyed it. And I think that's always educational for your boy over here who's trying to be less judgmental in life, but still, you never know. Like when we first started, you started describing your family, and I'd hear him on the phone. I just assumed
Hey,
certain
y'all.
things. I just assume certain things. It's not. Yeah, he's very emotional, able to express how he feels. Obviously, he is great with girls, but I think that's a learned thing. But that's also because I think he connects well with people overall. And not every. I guess my whole diatribe here is not every dude is that way.
Yeah.
You know, that's like a pretty cool skill set, and he's obviously great with Days.
This is probably like a whole podcast that we could do on just like parents in general. And, you know, you as you're like saying all these things about dad and then, you know, if I dive deeper into it, mom as well, like just the, like, for me growing up, like they loved me through it all. Mm-hmm. There was like nothing that I couldn't go to them about. There was nothing that I couldn't share with them. There was nothing that ever changed their opinions on me. Probably like for a couple minutes they hated me, and then they, like, you know, they never told me. But like that's the kind of relationship I want with Dace and Lyra. Like that's what I want as a parent. Like, no, I'm not always going to be your best friend. There's going to be no's, there's going to be hard lessons, there's going to be things, but like there is nothing that you could ever do that would change the way that I feel about you or say or anything like that. And anything you go through, I'm going to be there. And I feel really lucky that I have that, you know, example, and that I had that relationship with them. And I'm sure that's challenging. So anyways, not to get on a total tangent, because I really think that we could do something even more on that. But
I think that's interesting because, how do I word this? I feel like I had the very opposite experience. And the fact that again, it's what you perceive as a kid. Mm-hmm. And I grew up in a house of very much, you know, tough love, very high expectations, standards. We've already talked about the lack of expressing love or communicating love with my dad. Just wasn't what we did. And my mom was just pouring out of love. And that's probably why I was a huge mama's boy. Still am. But, it was different. But I think that not that their love was conditional. My perspective seemed like I had to uphold these levels, or that, so you say like I could go to them with anything. I couldn't go to them with anything, at least in my mind. Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell them there was a problem. I couldn't tell my dad there was weakness, or I did this. When I got into trouble, I felt like the world was collapsing, and there weren't, you know, that was, I think, a learned behavior on my part. And I see through whether mistakes I've made or life I've lived, or my brothers or my sister, of course they loved us unconditionally. It just didn't, and it showed later in life. And we not talked about it, I guess, with my dad a little bit, but like me not understanding the type of parent he was and wanted to be, and how that worked, versus like me not being able to, or wanting to express some of these things or talk about some of these things. So I feel like I'm like absolving them. I don't think it was their fault. I think it was like I did something. I chose to see it that had to be this way, or thought it was this way. But there were some indicators there that led me to believe that it was this way, at least particularly for my dad. Like my mom was a little different, but same thing with mom. I wasn't going to tell her I got in trouble. But if I'm coming to her home with some issues, I mean, I'm going right to mom and then being like, can we not tell dad? Like that was definitely discussed.
I think it's different too when, you know, you start off with 3 boys versus 3 girls.
Jeez, yeah, I guess so.
You know, like if you've always said that, like, you know, having Lyra and having a girl first, like changed you and prepared you and just molded you as a dad in just completely different ways than you think if you had had a boy first. Yeah. So I think that's part of it too. And, you know, obviously I wasn't lucky enough to know your dad. I am lucky enough to know your mom, who is just such a kind, loving, giving person. And so like, I know from knowing her, you could have gone to her with anything, but it's interesting as a child feeling that. And, you know, I'm sure there were moments where I mean, there was definitely things that I was scared to go to them about, but you know, I tested them in a lot of different ways, and tested that theory over the years of like, hey, let me see that's the second child thing. You know, you just gotta push the buttons and see what happens. And
what's weird about that being on the other side of it now as parents, there literally is saying it now. There's not a single thing in the world Lyra or Dace could do, or if we are lucky enough to have a kid,
the other day.
There's not a single thing they could do that would ever make me feel any different. Would I be, you know, disappointed or frustrated or want to help them in some regard? Absolutely. But it's just so, you just don't see it as a kid. You can't understand what that unconditional love is. But that's what it is.
Something that we talked about a couple weeks ago about talking about on the pod, and we never got to. And again, we could, I'm sure, do a lot more on it as well. but you always hear how like being a parent changes you and how it, it does. It makes you feel so different. But like, I wasn't prepared for, and I still think I keep learning how much being a parent changes the view I have of my parents being parents. When we had them up here, when they came up for Halloween and surprised the kids and walked into a house that had the stomach bug, got the stomach bug while they were here. And my dad looked at me and said, we knew we were going to get it. And there's nothing in the world we would ever change to be here. And then just to see the way that they like pour into us, that they're coming up again, let's be honest, partly because I'm like, it would be really fun to have you guys here. This would be helpful. We would love it. Do you guys want to come to Atlanta? It's just a short 5-hour drive. Like you don't know how it's going to change you as a person and what it's actually going to feel like to like love something so much more than you could ever imagine, more than yourself. It's crazy. But then the respect and the like admiration and the perspective it's given me on, my parents and your parents and just parents in general, like what they had to go through to raise kids and then to see them pour so much all over again into grandkids. It's crazy. It's so special.
It is. I think my therapist made this point to me the other day that I still wasn't thinking about now because she's coming into the stage of life. She was the stage of life where her kids are in their 20s. They don't have children yet. But she was like, well, Dalen, I think you and Kelsey may be viewing this a little bit through your prism still, thinking about, as I was talking about, putting them out like that. I do feel it's hard because your parents are able to do so much to help us. And at one point, both my parents did so much to help my oldest brother Derek's kids and my other brother Devin's kids in particular. They did a ton for Devin's kids and family, and they lived there down the street, and they were basically helping raise them. Yeah, they were 10 minutes away. And they were doing a lot of basically the same stuff. If we lived 10 minutes away from your parents, they'd be doing the exact same thing. They were in their 60s at the time, all these things, just different. Father time is undefeated. But I was talking about how it's hard because it's not a balance. It's always me saying if we can't find help, how your family helps, not how my family helps, which is hard. And you've recognized that it's a lot to ask.
Well, not because your mom wouldn't want to, or she would literally do anything for us that we ever needed.
She would, absolutely. And I believe she listens to the pod. We love it. I think it's a lot to ask of her currently to handle both these kids at one time.
Especially Dace Man and all these stairs.
Yeah, bro. It's just a lot.
Anyways.
It's a lot. He's a lot. So anyway, I think that, but her point to me, the therapist, was that, as we grow up, as your kids grow up, their parent is central in their world and has the obvious role to raise you, to take care of you, and they do everything for you. And as you get older and you build that independence, that role changes. And then as you get to your college years, they leave, and in their 20s, they no longer really need you. They may call and ask a question. They may do this, but they've graduated out of needing you. And she said, I think what you guys are missing is when now in this stage of your life, they have a critical role again, not just in the grandkids' life, in your life and in their child's life that they get to participate in. Things are asked of them. Things are needed of them. Their expertise is needed. Their wisdom is needed. All these things are needed again. And that's that gives a fulfilling level to them too. So she's like, I don't think you guys should think of it as just your taking. As many things, like you may think you're taking, but somebody else is doing for you is probably getting a lot out of it and having a role again in their daughter's life that is hugely impactful to her and helping shape her kids, I think is really of value.
Probably a conflict of interest for Kathy to be my therapist too, right?
It's an absolute conflict of interest, but yes, she's great.
It's a really good perspective, and like that because you know how much joy they get from being around, and our not just our parents but sisters and brothers and brothers-in-laws and all of that. But yeah, that's a good reminder because, and I think you're better at it than me, even with like when we need help and asking people for help. I'm like, right now we're in the position where we need a lot of things and we can offer it to help to a lot of people, but there aren't a lot of people that need us right now. So I feel needy all the time.
All right. You can just say it. Dalen, you're a bit of a dick. Okay. You're willing to say, because it is, I'm willing to ask people that I consider close friends or family for things that maybe I don't love it. The one thing I've asked for money in recent, like money is different, but asking for like time or commitment, because I always think that if the script was flipped, I would be happy to do these things.
100%.
I'd be happy to help
My
these
issue
things.
is
Like,
the script isn't flipped a lot right now. People don't need things back from
but
us,
you don't
and
even,
we need a lot of things right now.
we would be having Thanksgiving by ourselves in Atlanta if it wasn't for me asking Roddy. Okay, I'm putting Roddy. We love you, Jackie. Love you. Thank you very much. But somebody's got to. Yes, if the script was flipped, we would love to have their family here for Thanksgiving.
1,000%.
It'd be awesome. Like that. So I think that's how the prism of which I look at it, and I do think that I do believe too. I don't love asking people for help all the time. I'm joking a little bit, but I will in like the situation if we have no other option. Asking for help is important, and you hope that those people reciprocate that in time, or you tell them that there will be whenever you need us. It's vice versa. That's part of like the whole takes a village thing. Like if we didn't have kids, we wouldn't need these helps, these asks. If we had family live close, we wouldn't have this asks and need. If we didn't have these jobs that we have, we wouldn't have these asks and needs. We have a unique set of circumstances, which is hard, and I think. At times asking for help and people willing to help us we're truly appreciated. We're grateful for that.
Yeah.
And I look forward to like paying it forward. Like at some point, those things are going to come back. There will be a season in life where people are asking things of us. And I look forward to being able to say, yeah, let's do that.
Me too. Because I feel like the needy kids right now on the block, literally and figuratively as you get ready to go out of town, and our sitter is sick for the next 2 days, and so that has been.
We should have foreseen that happening. As soon as I said I had the work trip, we should have just assumed there had to be some sort of debacle.
I know, and hopefully that's it. The rest of us stay healthy and we don't spiral or anything. I spiraled yesterday though. I mean, I was on the phone with work telling them that I've gone through every sitter that I have and we have no one, and then I think it was like the weight of like you don't want to feel like you're letting work down. I know it's a big weekend of work. And so like, with conference championship stuff on the line, it's that. And then it's like in a way, like feeling like I'm letting Dace down. Like I'm so happy that we have a little guy who's had a lot of people love him and is excited to meet new people. And you tell him he's having this new friend coming over and he gets excited about it and that's gone well. But then there's like a level of guilt too of like, I want to have a mainstay. I want to like know what the plan is when stuff falls through for us in our crazy circumstances or work pops up or someone's sick. And so I think then that like slapped me in the face yesterday of like what do we do? Like I luckily I am really grateful for this family at ACC Network and people really like being able to step up and be there, and that this job allows me to have some flexibility even when I don't want it. Like I wish that I didn't have to have it the next couple of days. I don't know. It's just tough.
Well, this is where I think my viewpoint differs a lot. And it's not like you will feel whatever you want to feel. And I'm not trying to push back on the feeling itself. It's more like wanting to have consistency for Dace. I get wanting to have consistency for us. I totally get. And somebody that can help. And we've talked about that a little bit last night and how we have to navigate this, especially this season, in the next 4 or 5 months, what we may need to find or how this thing can be alleviated. The thing that I don't feel bad about, honestly, and I'm just saying it's like a callous parent, I don't feel bad for Dace because these to me are like, these are champagne problems. Like there are people that you can't feed your kid or you literally can't come home to your kid for a day. You can't. There are people that are enduring a lot of shit. I'm not ever trying to like minimize your feeling. I'm just trying to have a perspective on it that like, this dude's going to live a pretty charmed life. And if this is the hardest thing, then when he was truly young, he had to be exposed to a lot of different people to help him. He had a village that was, sometimes very close people to us, sometimes cobbled together by local college students we just met, but we need somebody for 8 hours. If that's his experience, I think there's going to be positives that'll be drawn from that. I think that'll be hard for us at times, but ultimately it has no negative effect on that little boy. Whereas I think a lot of other people, their anxieties that they're dealing with that are like making ends meet. Yeah. I feel more for those kids than I feel for him. I feel like he and we are fortunate. These are hard emotional things and hard monetary things for us to deal with. But things that we can deal with. And I think we can figure our way through that affect us. I think he's going to be great. And I think that's not easily said for a lot of other kids in a similar situation across our country.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially just given the current state of affairs and everything that's gone on. That perspective is, I think, valid and definitely important. It doesn't make it in the moment feel any better. I did ask work if there's ever been a baby that's been on set for a halftime show. Can you imagine?
No.
It actually would be hilarious.
I
I mean,
mean,
he couldn't do the whole hour-long show, but those half times are so fast. He could literally sit on my lap.
The half times are quick, but I mean, in theory, he could sit with somebody off the set for that. He could walk in the halls for 5 minutes. You know,
yeah,
really.
but yeah.
I think the quality of the on-air product may suffer if Dace is on there just yelling stuff into the microphone.
He might not yell. He might just like look around and be excited about all the lights and smile at people.
He may drop a deuce in the middle of it, and then whoever you're working with was like, I can't breathe. Like, these things could happen.
The thing is, work is great, and we're not going to have to find that out
There
because they did get it covered for me. And we are going to continue working on the roster. This all happened.
Last piece of this I think is cool, though, for him, too. And Lyra's got to experience some of this. As he gets older, even when he's 3, like, okay, come to work with me.
Yeah.
And he can be around the set. And then he, okay, you got to stand there and be quiet for these 5 minutes. But they get to see what we do. Like, Lyra, like, first time she came, she was 5, and she loved it. That was super cool. Like, it's just, that is a cool part of our job that we'll get to share on studio environment, game environments, that a lot of kids don't get to see. And it's a unique benefit of our job, that where there's hard parenting stuff and we're gone a lot or different things. That's a pretty cool perk.
I think getting to go to work with your parents, no matter what, is so cool and like eye-opening career day stuff. We talked about you getting to do that with Lyra, and go talk about your job. I remember getting to do it as a kid. So I think there's just something that's so special as a child, getting to be in your parents' grown-up world and see it. And then when it is on TV and the behind the scenes of like what no one else gets to see, that's really cool too. What I was going to say is all of this happened with the sitter and work and the shuffle on my birthday. And your birthday, as you mentioned, was Monday. This is the first time we haven't gotten to do, like, we usually do our little New York overnight trip. We could have squeezed it in for like 4 hours, and that's such a waste of money that we didn't do. Yeah. We didn't do that. But you're old. How do you feel? I'm just kidding. You look young. You look hot.
Thank you. Oh, you're the best, Bab. You're the best. Actually, when we were in New York for that, was 3 weekends ago, and there were there's happened to be dudes a couple times, be like, to myself and Derek, my oldest brother, be like, how old? I mentioned being age or something like that. One guy was like, what are you, like 32? I'm like, oh, I think I love you. So you're great. He's like, what? And
there's no bigger compliment that anyone can pay you than.
And I didn't understand this when I was younger, but like now, anybody that says like I'm sub 35, I'm like beaming for the next like hour. Derek got like 35.
That happened in Tuscany, and you didn't stop talking about it for 3 days.
Well, that's because the dude said you're 20. He goes, what are you, 28? I said 40, and he goes, fuck you. Sorry, I know you're gonna bleep that out, but that dude hated that answer, and I thought that was hilarious, and his wife did as well, and so did you. But there was no hesitation, and I just meant the man too. Yeah, I wish I knew who that man was, but the FU
we made
came
pasta
quick.
with him the rest of the evening.
We did make pasta with him. It was lovely, but the FU was he felt that. That was like in there. That was not a cursory smile. He was not happy. So no, my 40th birthday, which you surprised me with in New York with a bunch of my friends being there. One of them, my boy Corley, flew up from Florida. Like, that was really cool. I struggled with 40 a lot. Like, hitting that number was hard. For a number of reasons. It was like we were kind of beginning to reset life and reset life with you. And at that point, nobody knew that we were pregnant with Dace, and nobody knew that really outside of a couple family members. And I just struggled with that. Like, where the age, like, where are we going? It's also a lot of shoulds. Where should I have been now? Where should my career be? Where should my family be? What should we be doing? And it just felt like that was a lot to process. I feel like I breezed by 42 with nothing.
Yeah,
and no problem with that. My bigger concern though is just, it feels like I'm almost like looking ahead and talking. We've done this before with if we're lucky to have another child. I know you want another one on that. It's like me now. It's a projecting out of what life will look like at 45, 46, 47. And if I'm still changing diapers and chasing around a 2-year-old at 47,
I'll change the diapers.
At 47, your boy will be going through it then. But I think this one, it just, I don't know. I think maybe that speaks to a bit of contentment with our life and where we're at right now. To be like, okay, yeah, like, I'm very, again, grateful for where we are and what we're doing. I think I will say, if some of the work stuff did not go the way that it has in terms of working with Turner and at CBS and NBC and another company that's to be named whenever they announce it, if that didn't happen that way, I bet I would feel a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
I bet I would be like, okay, well, at home things are good, but what happened to my career?
Yeah.
Like, where am I going with my career? What am I going with financially? As we've talked about on this pod, I still think I have questions, big picture about career and big picture about the industry, but in the immediate term of like, holy shit, like, what are we going to do? I think I would feel a lot differently if those things hadn't transpired in the way that they have. So I think it was the first time in a couple of years, because 41, it felt a little weird. 39, I was laboring a bit. So this was the first time in a while where I was just like, all right, like this is it.
Yeah. That's good. It felt like you were, I mean, obviously like happy and had a good day, but like, it wasn't like, oh God, my birthday's coming up. It's funny. I don't know how I'll be when I hit 40 in like 10 years from now.
Exactly. It'll be a great decade.
What?
It'll be a great decade.
It'll be a great decade. No, I'm 37. I have no issues sharing my age because I don't feel anything about it. Now I think maybe when I'm like 39, for some reason 38 does feel older than 37. I mean, it is older.
I'm about to say, technically, yes, it is.
So I don't know, but I think you're right. I think it also just like matters where you are mentally. And for me, this last year taught us a lot, went through a lot, gave me a lot of perspective and just appreciation for the people around me in the community, and just so much gratitude for like finding you and having you, and knowing like when you choose well, what that does for you in life through the good and the bad. And so for me, I think like this birthday was just kind of like, first of all, it was sweet. Like if your husband wakes up at 5:40 and then 5 in the morning and breaks you a blueberry muffin cake.
Well, that was Lyra's inspiration. I will say we had to have we had to have a cake, because she's like, I said, what about muffins? She's like, Daddy, we have to have a cake,
because she wasn't going to be with us that night. She was going back to her mom's.
I was like, well, we can't have a cake at 8 a.m. She goes,
so sweet.
She goes, why not? I was like, baby, because we're not having a cake at 8 a.m. Like,
but it felt like a cake. It looked like a cake. There was icing on it. She asked if I wanted sprinkles. The answer wasn't actually yes, but I knew she was excited about the sprinkles. So
I thought you wanted them. She's like, Kelsey really wants them.
Well, she asked me, so I said, yeah. Like, I mean, I don't have an issue with sprinkles, and I didn't know what kind of cake I was actually getting. So on a cake, yeah, put some sprinkles on there. Blueberry muffin cake, probably.
Put some sprinkles on that bit.
Throw some sprinkles. So I think that kind of put me in a different mindset. And then it's funny what you just said, like, you know, where you are in life. I made you listen to this Kelsey Ballerini song, which we were about to walk in to eat on your birthday. So we didn't, you know, actually listen to all the words quite as in depth as we needed to.
You were also singing some of them, which distracts me, but go ahead.
I was. You got a video of it. It was really good. So many people have told me I'm a good singer since then. I'm looking up a song.
People like to lie to you then, but go ahead.
No, they don't. Nobody does that. It's called I Sit in Parks. And the words, I feel like they resonated with me so much, not because it's this point in my life now, but there were points in my life where it was like, I had a great birthday and I was going to do things with friends, or I was going out to dinner, or I had these plans, but I was like, I would love to just have somebody I love to spend my birthday with. I would love to just have kids to look at and like just be with them on my birthday. And I got to wake up and I got to have blueberry muffin cake and open cards and flowers and little gifts that Lyra had picked out with you, and have Dace just smiling, not knowing what the hell's going on. And it's like, this is a birthday that I dreamed about in past lives. Were we in New York City doing something? No. Were we having a big grand dinner with friends? Were we getting all dressed up? No. But it was like, this is something that I once dreamed of. And so it makes me think of this song, because it's called I Sit in Parks, and it's literally about sitting in a park and looking around at this family. And it's like longing for that. Like, you're sitting in a park by yourself, and Kelsey Ballerini, this very accomplished singer, is saying like, did I dream too big that I missed the mark on these other dreams? Like, did I chase this and now I lost that? And it's just good. And I think I like it so much because like, I know that's how I felt for a long time. And then to be like, no, you didn't miss the mark. Like, you can do things later in life. You don't have to marry your high school sweetheart. And if you do, that's amazing. But like, you don't have to like go by this plan, especially, you know, growing up in the South. Like, so many of my friends were like married young and right out of college. And, you know, that I always knew I wanted to be a mom, and in order to be a mom, I hoped that I was going to do it with the person that I got to spend the rest of my life with and wanted to spend the rest of my life with. And so I feel so grateful that I waited for that. But for me, like that, you know, when it comes to timelines and milestones and things like that, it was interesting for me this year because it's like, this was such a calm, easy, sweet little birthday. And it's like what I used to dream about one day having. But then when you're in it, you can feel like, oh, it's so simple. And I didn't feel like that this year. But that perspective, I think, just matters.
That's great. I mean, I knew you were happy and enjoyed your day. I didn't understand that perspective. You know, you're always worried about, is it going to be enough? Are we doing enough? Are we celebrating enough? Lord knows you deserve. If I could give you the world, I wish I could. I can't.
You do.
But you have other things coming, by the way, too. Still, but that's neither here nor there. But it is an interesting perspective because I think a lot of times that's exactly what it's about. Like when you're single, you may long for those things, or when you're in our lives right now, you may long for sitting in the park with nothing to do on a nice, spring afternoon.
Yeah.
But as much as I think about that sometimes, like you haven't been here very often. When you're here and there's nobody here, I think guys talk about this all the time. Like you would want to have like one day you can go play golf or a night where you just watch whatever. By like day 2, like, what am I doing?
Where's my family?
Where's my family? Like, this isn't my life. Like, I lived this life already, and I had a good time. But it feels incomplete. It feels different. So
I can't look at you because I feel like your eyes are watery.
well, maybe they are. And I felt that a little bit on my birthday, too. Like, I thought it was just like really, like, Lyra got off the bus and was so excited. She's like, Daddy, isn't today your birthday? And I was like, yes, because we didn't see her that morning, and she was so excited. And it was really nice, and you cooked dinner, and I just got to being with you guys was awesome. And I'm not one that tends to want to like celebrate my birthday a lot. We just went over some of the issues in years past. Like I'd rather just roll by, but that's like the ideal way for me to celebrate it, is just for us to hang out and keep it as simple as possible, where it's just us. And that was cool. But I did not know that. I think it's interesting, I didn't know where you were coming from there. Like I hoped you had a good day, but I'm like, I don't know if that was enough. But
yeah, it was more than enough. I think it's like sometimes it's just the simple things, and like I'm like a words of affirmation, and I guess in some ways acts of service. I think I'm all the love languages, honestly, because
every single one of them.
More I try to think of which one it is, probably love language more than anything, right?
But the part of that too is like those things I know. Touch. So I'm going to write you a card. You probably I'm going to get you flour. Like you try to do things that are like, all right, she doesn't know I'm going to do this, but does it register? Does she really care? Does it really matter? Also, does that cake suck? I don't know.
No, the cake was good.
Was the bacon good?
But
honestly, a lot of bacon,
like,
lady.
I do think it's part of the last year too, Dalen. As like, I'm not being this like optimistic, like I'm grateful for everything we went through. Like, do I wish the last year had gone differently? Hell yes.
Yeah.
But I am grateful for the perspective and the lessons the last year have given me, because it shows like what really matters. It shows what's really important. It makes you really cherish the things that like are irreplaceable, the things that like, you once wanted to have. That song that I was telling you about, there's a line, it says, I wonder if she wants my freedom like I want to be a mother, as she's looking at this mom in the park. Yeah. And so like, yeah, when you're a mom, sometimes you're like, man, remember on like a birthday where I was like in the sparkly dress, throwing up not throwing up, but maybe, but like throwing back glasses of champagne and partying. Yeah, I remember that. And I remember being like, man, I wish I had somebody to come home to that loved me and I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I wish I had a baby. I wish I knew what life was going to look like. And I'm like, well, I do know what life looks like. Like, that's pretty freaking special. That matters.
Well said. It does. I thought you were gonna cry. I was waiting for you to cry.
Oh, my eyes were getting watery, so just like leave me alone. My eyes water every single week that we do this.
That's why I was like, I don't know if we're gonna get a teardrop here. That seems
no, I had to stop talking.
Think of what else I can say here to get you to cry.
A fun Thanksgiving next week. Not gonna do the pod. Gonna be hanging out, and then I feel like there's one other thing that I was gonna hit on about next week. We'll have updates though. We'll see. See how it all goes.
See how it goes. It'll be great, I think. Be some challenging times, I imagine, but we're gonna have a great time. And then after that, it's holiday.
It's not
time.
gonna be
Here we go.
challenging. It's gonna be fun. Lyra's super pumped when you got Lyra, who's been talking about this for
That's so
forever and
great.
like wanting to be there and knowing that, you know, she wanted to have this experience with us. The girl loves a trip. Fun travel coming up.
We got her.
ATL gonna be taking on the Cuff family traditions.
In our rented minivan. Let's go.
Oh, it's a minivan.
I heard.
asked
That's
if
what
we
I think.
got
I
a
think I
car.
saw.
didn't know we had a minivan.
I think it's a minivan. Let's go, baby.
Okay.
Now I'm driving the bus.
Let's go. Do you think Lyra's gonna call that a luxury car?
Maybe.
All right. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Happy holidays.
Later.